Hi guys. Happy Sunday. Doing well. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, I should say. My Bills should be in it, but they're not. I'm going for the Seahawks. Forget the Patriots. My son and his girlfriend are Seahawks fans. I gotta back them up. I'm bitter that the Bills aren't in it, but oh, what are you gonna do next year? All right. So, thank you so much for supporting me and watching my videos. And I'm hoping that it's helping. I really am. So we're on chapter 19. Chapter 19 is longer. It's titled Struggling. This was on July 26th, 2022. This was day 19. And I usually start with a quote, but this time I start with a definition. Tenacity, noun. The quality of being very determined, persistent forward momentum with a game plan. To never stop trying to achieve a goal, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Survivors have much tenacity. My words. This day just straight up stinks. Gage did not get the apartment, and he did not get financial aid. Everything is suddenly very much in the air. He is having such a hard time. I'm letting him be, letting him come to me with questions, but I'm fearful that his master's program may be postponed. Damn it, my poor kid. I have no idea how to help him. Damn it. I can only be there for him. I can't fix it. You know this, Jaren. Damn, this is hard. On top of that, we are leaving tomorrow after Gage is off work for Palm Springs for Grandma's 92nd birthday. Oh boy. That one's going to be tough. We will be there until Friday morning. It should be a very good reprieve. I'll still bring my computer, still write when I can, and I'll have therapy from Palm Springs on Thursday online. So all is good there. Yep, just life crap today. I'm proud of myself. Still no alcohol, although that will be tough in Palm Springs, especially at the barbecue. And I'm proud of myself for walking away from writing last night. I needed that. I took care of myself. Excellent, Jaren. So now I feel refreshed and a good headspace. Let's see if I can rectify that. Just kidding. This 1992 Landers earthquake, camping in New Mexico, 12 years old. It's, and I'm not reading right now. I'm just commenting. It's, I just watched a video on survivors and empaths and super empaths, and those of us who have what seem to be I don't know if you would call it supernatural abilities or what it is. We're more sensitive. We're more sensitive, period. And we're more sensitive to people's emotions, but I think we're also more sensitive to the spiritual aspects of this realm. I've always had this weird connection with the earth, and especially earthquakes, since I was a little girl. If you've been watching, I brought up the Berenstain Bears earthquake, the first earthquake that I can remember, and it being on me dreaming and me being on a roller coaster with the Berenstain Bears, or the Berenstain Bears being on a roller coaster and it falling apart, shaking and falling apart. I can't be sure, but I think the shaking and falling apart started before the earthquake, which freaked me out as a kid. Now as an adult, I tend to doubt myself. Did that really happen? I tend to doubt myself because that's what survivors do. This one, there's no doubt. This one was bizarre, and I had witnesses. My aunt and uncle were there, and I can't explain it. To this day, I can't explain it. So here we go. 1992 Landers earthquake, camping in New Mexico, 12 years old. Shit, okay. Not just a regular seatbelt for this one, 5-point harness required. Reader, remember me telling you how when I was born and my father knew I was somehow quote-unquote special? I didn't tell that whole story. It's important here, as is the roller coaster earthquake from when I was 7 years old. Okay, when I was born, my dad cut the cord. Then he held me for the first time. He said he felt a man's hand on his shoulder and a squeeze. He said he turned around, no one was there. It spooked the hell out of him. He swore it was some type of spirit guide. This experience convinced him I was going to be very unique. Okay, Dad, time to lay off the weed. But Jaren, you are the queen of hiding, aren't you? And now you have a choice. Tell the story and move on, or tell the whole story. Shit. Why the hell have I chosen total transparency? You all are going to think I'm certifiable. Oh, fuck it. You probably already do. What the hell? Okay, I was living with Graham, but the 3 siblings are now living with the faux father. Graham didn't want to waste my summers, so I began seeing extended family. I spent summers with my aunts, uncles, and cousins. So I'm with my aunt and uncle in New Mexico. All types of fun activities planned, one of which is a camping trip to the mountains in a cabin. Sweet. I love to camp. There was a small creek outside the cabin. It was so beautiful. Now, something I haven't mentioned. I used to sleepwalk. This is intense. Quite a bit, I believe, back in Westminster, quite a bit. Whoops. Clarice. There was an incident where I went into the bathroom in the middle of the night. I turned on the bathtub. The maternal figure heard me. Jaren, what are you doing? Getting something to eat. What the hell? I didn't remember that at all. Nope. You've been sleepwalking. I would walk downstairs, walk around in circles in the living room. The parents said it was bizarre, but I guess the parents were able to tell me to go back to bed. Sorry. She's on one. And I would somehow find my way back. Okay, I think you're all caught up now. Back to the cabin in New Mexico. It's my aunt, uncle, baby cousin, and I. First night in the cabin. Everything is peaceful. We go to bed. I awake sometime in the early morning hours, standing up, back to the wall, feet soaking wet. Grass all over them. The worst headache I've ever had. Nauseous beyond belief. Incredibly confused. Panicked. Grandma. What? No, Grandma's not here. Grandma. More urgent. Something's wrong with Grandma. Oh, sorry. She was digging her claws into me. A warning. What the fuck is happening? But I knew with absolutely no doubt. Would have bet my life on it in a heartbeat. Grandma was in danger. Head killing me. Don't vomit. Wake them up. But my aunt and uncle were now awake. I was crying loudly. I didn't realize. They were trying to calm me down. Don't wake your baby cousin. I felt badly, but damn it, this couldn't wait. They had to understand. We had to leave. Something's wrong with Grandma. What didn't they understand? I'm sure they thought it was just a nightmare. I have no idea if they were forewarned about my sleepwalking. They wouldn't leave. I was terrified. I laid in the bed all night, head pounding, praying for daybreak, praying for my grandma to be okay. I just needed to check on Grandma. Daybreak, everyone up. My uncle takes me to a bakery down the road. I had no appetite, so nauseous. He wanted me to eat. I had a chocolate eclair for the first and last time ever. I still feel that nausea when I see eclairs. Yuck, I hate eclairs. I was insistent. We had to leave. I would not back down. I know they weren't happy about it, but I had to make sure she was safe. We left, back to their house. The second the front door opened, I ran. I remember throwing my backpack on the floor. I remember waiting for the call to connect, hearing her voice. Sweet fucking relief. Grandma, you okay? Oh, you heard. Fuck. Ice. I knew it. She didn't even have to say it. Berenstain Bears flashed through my head. What the fuck? 7.3 and another as well. No, this isn't real. How? They are calling it the Landers earthquake. No fucking way. I'm a fucking freak. What the hell is wrong with me? Even my aunt and uncle seemed quieter. What must they think of you? That's it. No way. Push it away, Jared. Never speak of it. If only it had been that easy. If only. If only that was it. I'm done talking about that for now. This stuff comes up later. It comes up throughout my life. There's some kind of connection with the earth where I'm able, and not just the earth, but with certain people, where I'm able to know when something's wrong before it's wrong. It's really weird. I have my theories, but I'm not ready to go there yet. Sorry, guys, you're going to have to wait a bit on those. I took a break. Lo and behold, another trauma surfaces. Unbelievable. Okay, this one is going to make me sick to my stomach. I was maybe, 6 or 7 years old. That would have made Marjorie Taylor 4 or 5 years old. That seems about right. We rarely had fast food. Couldn't afford it. However, we were being treated. Hamburgers from McDonald's. Oh, shit. Okay. This is the mayonnaise story. If you know me, you know the mayonnaise story. Like if you know me, you know the mayonnaise story. I used to use the mayonnaise story as a gauge of sort to see who was safe and who was not. If I told the mayonnaise story to somebody and they laughed, they weren't safe. If I told the mayonnaise story to somebody and they were horrified, they might be safe. It was the one story that I felt comfortable enough telling from my childhood that I could gauge who was okay and who was not. Guys, this is gross, and I'm sorry in advance, especially if you like mayonnaise. I don't eat it, never will. Disgusting. Haven't eaten it since this happened. I take that back. I've had it in tuna, but I have to trick myself that it's not in it. Like I have to trick my brain. Okay. Hamburgers from McDonald's. And the maternal figure is letting us watch the never-ending story on her TV in her room with her. We just have to sit on the floor and not make a mess. This is nice. Good movie. Good burger. Things are calm. This really is nice. Silly Darren. You think you can relax? Little giggles coming from the maternal figure on the bed. Now louder, more maniacal. Oh shit, she's thinking. Girls? Trepidatiously. Yeah. Have I ever told you where mayonnaise comes from? No. Well, let me tell you. Okay, everyone, if I could please have you put your trays away and place your seats in an upright position. Good. Now everyone grab your barf bag, and I apologize in advance. Well, there is this little old lady. She sits in a room all day working. The only thing in this room are a long table. The only things in this room are a long table, a chair for the lady to sit on, and empty jars and unused labels everywhere. Marjorie Taylor and I were actually liking this so far. Very creative, the maternal figure. Good job. Tell us more. Well, you see, this poor little old lady has a problem. She has horrendous acne. Sorry, guys. As Marjorie Taylor and I are licking the mayo off our fingers from our hamburgers. Well, she spends all day squeezing her pimples into these jars and slapping labels on them. Then she takes them to the grocery stores, places them on the shelves, and then people buy them. And that, girls, is where mayonnaise comes from. I don't know if it was Marjorie Taylor or I who made it to the toilet first to vomit. Oh my God. Is it true? Have we been eating this lady's pimple pus the whole time? What the hell? Why is she laughing so hard? Head back in toilet. Okay, if you are laughing, I swear it's okay. Somehow, I'm cry laughing right now. It's funny. And it would have been a really funny story to tell her friends, if she had any friends. But this was twisted. You don't do that to kids. And no, I cannot eat mayo ever since that day, or Cheetos. But that's another story I'll save for when we go through a particularly dark trauma. I'll pull that gem out to make you laugh. I don't know why I said that, because the Cheeto story isn't that funny. I got sick on Cheetos when I was little. the maternal figure would go to work when she worked outside of the home, and she left Marjorie Taylor and I home alone. I couldn't have been more than 4 or 5, maybe, which would have made Marjorie Taylor 2 or 3. That's insane. Maybe a little bit older, maybe 6, around that age. Okay. So she called one time and we wanted Cheetos. There were Cheetos on top of the fridge, and they weren't like normal Cheetos. They were the round ball ones that that came in a blue tin, like a cylinder. And we wanted those. They were on top of the fridge. And we begged to have some Cheetos. And she said, okay. And so I remember climbing on the counter to get to the fridge. And we ate that whole damn canister and got super sick. It's not funny. I don't know why I put that. It's not funny. Can't eat Cheetos. Hate them. All right. What's on deck? Great. Donald threatening the faux father with a pretend gun. I am 13 years old. No way I was 14. Definitely 13. All right. I need to catch you guys up. At this point, I had moved back in with the faux father and siblings. We had a 2-bedroom townhouse, and there were 5 of us. So it was tight, but I didn't care. I was just happy to be back with the faux father and siblings. Home. Relax, Jaren. It's okay. She just fell behind me and is now just laying there. All right. I succeeded for a while. I was now in 8th grade. I had lived with Graham all through 7th grade. I was at Talbot Middle School. I had found a group of misfits, theater nerds, cheerleaders, photographers. We were the ones that thought cliques were stupid, the color of your skin and your culture were beautiful, and we would accept you with open arms. I loved them so much, and was so happy to be welcomed in with such love. I really was happy for the first time I could remember. But the maternal figure would not leave well enough alone. Even though she was granted some weekend visitations by the court, she made it clear that now that all 4 of us were allowed to exist again, she wanted full custody of all of us. Kiss my ass. I wouldn't even go to her house for visitations. I flat out refused. Even though the rest of the siblings went, I would have rather ran away and lived on the streets than ever go back to her. But all of a sudden, we must attend court-ordered therapy, both individually and as a family. Really? A family? Us kids, the faux father, the maternal figure, and Donald. Give me a fucking break. I remember meeting with the psychologist when it was my turn. I fucking sung like a songbird. That psychologist didn't know what hit him. Man, did I have some stories. And I was assured I could spill them with no negative consequences. Anything I said would be safe. Hallelujah. I was on a mission. I would never let the maternal figure take my siblings, and I would never go back with her. And damn, did that sweet girl need therapy at that point. Like, really bad. But then we had to all go to the family therapy. I don't remember much, just a lot of anger, feeling like I wanted to cry the entire time. Don't look at the maternal figure. Show no emotion. She'll use it. All of those fears, all of those insecurities, the feeling as though I had to constantly be on alert, all of it right at the surface again. Damn, it never went away. After the quote-unquote family therapy, the 3 siblings went to the maternal figure in her car, with the maternal figure in her car, to go to the house for the weekend. Donald drove his car separately, and the faux father and I were driving back home. I was in the front passenger seat. We are suddenly face to face with Donald in our respective vehicles. I watch as Donald takes his thumb and forefinger in the shape of a gun, stares the faux father dead in his eyes, and motions as though he's shooting the faux father in the head. I was petrified. Did he really just threaten the faux father right in front of me? The faux father shook his head no and said, "No, you," and made the motion for Donald to shoot his damn self in the head. Donald took off, and I was left terrified. Now I thought this man wants to kill the faux father, or hurt him at the very least, and now this man is on his way back home where the siblings are. The faux father was upset, but was trying to reassure me. Fat chance. I was terrified for years that Donald was going to come after the faux father. I still can't stand that man. Donald is a pervert. He is disgusting. I remember the maternal figure saying that he had a porn addiction. He would make sexual comments and make me and Marjorie Taylor feel very uncomfortable. He would make those sexual comments towards us. It was really sick. He's a sick, sick man. Gross man. Another one. Talk about Buck. I can't believe I didn't have this one on the trauma timeline too. This happened back in Westminster, shortly before we moved to Moreno Valley. I knew we were going to be getting a house. I have no idea if the buying of our actual house had taken place yet or not. But the parents decided to get a dog. Why they got a dog when we weren't even in the house yet, when we were still in a 2-bedroom apartment, all of us, and we weren't allowed to have pets. Brilliant. Stupid. But my parents decided to get a dog before we moved, even though dogs weren't allowed at the apartments. Us kids were ecstatic. We had always wanted a dog. I remember going to the pound. The maternal figure and the faux father chose a dog that was probably a year old or so. Still very much a puppy, but he was huge. That dog was massive. I can't remember what mix he was. Maybe part Great Dane. I can't remember. The parents named him Buck after Uncle Buck. I remember taking him out for walks, playing with him outside. I remember him being terrible on a leash. Oh God, he was so bad. He just drugged me everywhere. He was really difficult to walk, and he was really strong. I was 10. Marjorie Taylor was 8. The maternal figure had taken us somewhere in our minivan, and we had Buck with us. We pulled up to our apartments. We were all getting out of the van. The only one left in the van that I can recall was Marjorie Taylor and Buck. And then the mailman showed up. Buck went insane. He wanted to kill that poor mailman. The maternal figure had to shut him in the van. Marjorie Taylor screaming hysterically in terror within the van. It was horrifying. He looked like Cujo. I have no doubt that he would have torn that poor mailman apart given the opportunity. I can't remember what happened after that. I know that Marjorie Taylor was okay, physically anyway. And I know the parents took Buck back to the pound. And they were pissed. It turned out Buck had been returned multiple times. He had shown aggression before. And that wasn't disclosed to the parents. A family with 4 children. That was so wrong of the pound. I feel the worst for Marjorie Taylor. That had to have traumatized her badly. Let me see how far. This is a long chapter, and the next part. Next part's very difficult. I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to stop here. So chapter 19 is going to be a 2-parter. This is where I introduced you guys to Angela. Angela was my best friend. I've talked about her many times before. She passed away when we were 15. She was amazing. And I'm not ready. And I need to honor that. So I'm going to stop the video here. And I'll probably do another one sometime this week. And then do chapter 20 next Sunday. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Hi. I know. Yeah. I know. Oh boy. She's got her nails in me again. Alright, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. I know this was a long one. Thank you. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Sending much love. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.